This was unfortunate, stupid, and avoidable.
3, 2.
What's going on, everybody? By now, you probably heard about the 6-year-old student that shot a teacher in a classroom. And there's been a lot of speculation about, was the teacher beating the student? Were they abusive in some way? Did the government give the student the gun, some kind of psych op thing for school shootings, and so forth and so forth and so on? And I like to wait on a little bit of details to come out before I speak on things, at least most of the time.
I want to share with you what we recovered there. One spent shell casing, a backpack, a cell phone, and a 9mm Taurus firearm was recovered. The firearm was recovered close to the student's desk where the shooting occurred. Mrs. Zwerner was providing class instruction. The 6-year-old child displayed a firearm, pointed it at her, and fired one round. There was no physical struggle or fight. She was providing instruction to her class.
And I want to talk about this teacher, Abigail Zuner, if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. So 25 years old, is at school, in class, doing her job, teaching the students. She was in the middle of teaching when this 6-year-old child, who hasn't been identified, and I understand why you wouldn't, the 6-year-old child pulled out a handgun and shot the teacher while she was conducting class. The teacher was able to take somewhat of a defensive position, and by that I mean she put her hand up, the round entered into her hand, went through her hand, and went into her chest. By last report, she is in stable condition. It looks like she's going to be fine. The other questions. Was it a government psych op? The answer is simply no. It wasn't. It just wasn't. What we do know, though, is the big question. Where did the child get the gun? And that was mainly everyone's concern. Where did a 6-year-old get their hands on a gun to be out in the free world with one? Well, that answer is the parents. The gun was legally purchased by the parents and was inside of the home. The 6-year-old was able to get the gun and go to school and shoot a teacher.
That's a great question. We're trying to piece that together. Her question was how the firearm was secured in the home. That is a key element for us to determine. Right now we have some statements, but we want to shore those up. So I'm not going to go into much further than that. What I can tell you is the child did take the firearm from the house. He put it in a backpack and took it to school that day. But I don't want to go at this point about how that firearm was secured, where it was secured at, and how the child may or may not have known where it was at.
So now we know that. I have preached constantly about securing your firearms. These were people who owned a gun, who did not secure that gun. A 6-year-old was able to get the gun and take the gun to school. That's on the parents. I can't say that they don't, have a healthy household, that they don't do everything else in their life right. I don't know what's going on with the kid. I don't know what kind of issues the child might have or what led a 6-year-old, even if they did have possession of a gun, to shoot a teacher. I have no idea, and I don't think anybody's going to know for a little time now. What I do know is the parents should have had that dang on gun locked up. I do know that. That much I do know. I'm glad the kid, didn't succeed in, killing the teacher. I'm glad that no students were harmed. They went into the drills. They got all the kids safe. All the students were fine. And it looks like the teacher is going to pull through. But man, there is a level of responsibility that is just different when you are a gun owner, period. While we want to talk about how to shoot and, how to run and dive and jump across Buicks and, jump out of Blackhawks and blast all the bad guys and fight the Taliban, that's cool. But what makes you responsible and what makes you effective immediately is making sure that the firearm that you own doesn't fall into the hands of prohibited people. And I believe a 6-year-old without parental or some type of adult supervising their interaction with a gun will qualify as prohibited. You know, 6-year-old on the range under the guise of an adult, cool. 6-year-old hunting under the guise of an adult, cool. 6-year-old shouldn't just be able to put a gun in their backpack and go to school. Shouldn't happen. And that's on the parents. I don't know if they're going to have charges pressed against them. I'm not sure. I recently just put up a video about the importance of locking your firearms up. I'll link that video below. Look, man, one of the options that I have in my home is a Canon safe. And the guns are secured in that safe to make sure things like this don't happen. And my children are very well educated around firearms. They're still kids. Lock your guns up. I'm not saying we don't make mistakes, but I am saying that a 25-year-old elementary school teacher was just shot by a 6-year-old child that secured that Taurus handgun. That's what it's supposed to be, a Taurus 9mm. Secured their Taurus handgun from their home and was able to take it to school and shoot a teacher. Lock up your guns. Be responsible. Stop being cool. Stop being lazy. Oh, I'm just going to leave it over here. I'm just going to leave it over there. My kids know better. Yeah. Okay. I'm sure your kids know better. So I'm going to ask you to share this message with people who kids don't know better, since, you know, everybody's kids know better. I don't have anything else to add, man. It's unfortunate. I hate that it happened to the teacher. I'm glad she's going to be okay. And I hope that all the kids in the classroom, you know, mentally recover from what they had to witness. Stop being a lazy gun owner. Secure your guns. Take some ownership and responsibility of the lifestyle you've chosen to get into. That's all I got. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Head over to nootherchoice.com for swag and accessories for your firearms that I hope that are secured and stored properly so 6-year-olds can't get them. But head over to nootherchoice.com also for training if you need training assistance in your area, or come see us down here in the Atlanta, Georgia area. But either way, man, we got to be better at being more responsible gun owners. That being said, it's been your man, KD. And remember, be prepared for when there is no other choice. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.